Today, we're diving into one of the world's oldest and most influential stories, the Ramayana. It's an absolutely epic poem full of heroes, demons, divine destiny, and at its core, a really deep look at what it means to do the right thing. But let's start with a bigger question, something to frame all of this. What makes a story immortal? I mean, is it just the cool adventures, the characters you can't forget, or is it something deeper, something that connects with us no matter what century we're in? Well, the Ramayana, a story that people have loved for thousands of years, might just have the answer. So, where did a timeless story like this even come from? Well, it all starts with a holy sage and a single powerful moment of empathy. You know, the creation story of this epic is as beautiful as the poem itself. The credit goes to a sage named Valmiki. The legend says he was just walking in the forest when he saw a hunter shoot a bird, and its mate was just overcome with grief. And in that moment, witnessing that sorrow, Valmiki spontaneously uttered what's believed to be the very first shloka, a poetic verse. He literally turned pain into poetry. Okay, so our story kicks off in what you can only describe as a perfect world, the kingdom of Ayodhya. And this was not just any old town. We're talking about a capital with gilded palaces and gem-crusted, sky-kissing buildings. Everything was in its right place, total harmony, total prosperity. And at the heart of this perfect kingdom, you've got the perfect hero, Prince Rama. Seriously, this guy is the whole package. He isn't just a prince, he's seen as the absolute embodiment of virtue. Brave, kind, always truthful, and totally devoted to his people. He's the ideal son, the ideal leader. But you know how these stories go. No epic is complete without a massive twist. And this perfect, idyllic world is about to get completely turned upside down because of a promise made a long, long time ago. Now, to really get what happens next, we have to understand this one core concept, Dharma. Think of it as more than just duty. It's the right way to live, the moral code that keeps the whole universe in balance. For a prince like Rama, Dharma is everything. It guides every single choice he makes. And man, is his commitment to Dharma put to the test. His stepmother, Queen Kaikeyi, decides it's time to cash in on two wishes the king had promised her years ago. Her first demand, her own son, Bharata, gets the crown. And her second absolutely devastating demand, Rama, the rightful heir, must be exiled to the forest for 14 years. So how does Rama react? Does he fight for his throne? Does he argue that it's completely unfair? Nope. In this ultimate act of Dharma, to make sure his father's honor stays intact, he just accepts it, no questions asked. And get this, he doesn't go alone. His incredible wife, Sita, and his loyal brother Lakshmana decide they're going with him. At first, their life in the forest is pretty simple, even peaceful. But that calm is about to be shattered in a way that will kick off the main conflict of this whole epic. And here's where we meet our villain, Ravana, the 10-headed demon king of Lanka. And you get a perfect sense of his arrogance right away when he shows up and tells Sita, hey, forget that guy. You should be with me. Just oozing with ego. Well, Sita, being the absolute picture of virtue and loyalty, tells him to get lost. Ravana, furious, just kidnaps her and flies her all the way back to his island fortress, Lanka. So now, Rama's exile has just transformed into a desperate, all-out rescue mission. Rama and Lakshmana are, as you can imagine, completely devastated. So their quest to find Sita begins. And it's a journey that's going to lead them to some very powerful and very unexpected new friends. And the scale of the search is just huge. Rama makes a super important alliance with Sugriva, the Monkey King. After Rama helps him get his kingdom back, Sugriva sends his monkey armies out to search every corner of the globe. And the most dangerous mission, the one heading south across the ocean, is given to his greatest warrior, Hanuman. And right here, we meet one of the most beloved figures in the entire story. Hanuman, the monkey god, is this perfect mix of incredible power and total selfless devotion. And his confidence, it's off the charts. He basically says, don't worry, I'll leap so hard I'll shatter mountains and dry up the ocean. And you know what? He wasn't exaggerating. He uses his divine powers and makes this one single monstrous leap across the entire ocean, landing right in Ravana's glittering, golden, and heavily guarded city of Lanka. So, Hanuman finds Sita, tells her Rama is coming, and races back with the good news. Now, everything is in place. The stage is set for the final epic showdown between the forces of good and evil. But there's one small problem. How do you get an entire army of monkeys and bears across the ocean? Simple. You perform an engineering miracle and build a floating bridge out of stones all the way from India to Lanka. What happens next is a war of cosmic proportions. We're talking celestial weapons, gods and demons, incredible heroism, and it all leads up to this final earth-shaking duel between Ravana and Rama, who, it's revealed, is actually an incarnation of the great god Vishnu, sent to Earth to restore Dharma. So, after a truly ferocious struggle, Rama is victorious. Sita is finally rescued. But the real power of this story isn't just in the victory, it's in the legacy it leaves behind. After 14 long, hard years, the exile is finally over. Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana return home to a celebration like no other. Rama is crowned king, and his reign, which is called Ram Raja, starts a golden age of perfect justice, peace, and prosperity. And it's hard to overstate just how huge this epic is. We're talking 24,000 verses. The Ramayana is this monumental piece of literature that has deeply shaped the culture, the art, the morals, pretty much everything for millions of people for thousands of years. Which brings us right back to our first question. What makes a story immortal? Well, the Ramayana has lasted because it's so much more than an adventure. It's a timeless guide to what it means to live a righteous life, even when it's hard. And it leaves all of us with a question that's just as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. In our own lives, what does it truly mean to live a life of duty?